this world has been connected. And now darkness within darkness awaits you.
In the end, every heart returns to the darkness whence it came.
My name is Ansem. I reach for the darkness. One who knows nothing can understand.
Tidings, everybody, and welcome to the Ansem Report podcast. Yeah, this is episode number 218 of the longest-running Kingdom Hearts podcast in the world. MDA award-winning, by the way, podcast of champions. Yeah, I brought that one back. You're right. I'm Mike, and with me, as always, is my brother, fellow baldman, Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hello. I'm bald.
You can hear it in his voice. You hear the baldness.
Yeah, it kind of changes you as a person to be bald.
It does. It does. A lot of people have commented on the fact that your hair is now gone. They did on not the last episode, but the episode before when we did the live pod and your hair was gone.
He said, "Oh my God, he's bald. My eyes." The light glistened off of it and blinded them.
Yeah, dude. That's why actually bald people don't wear hats in the winter because their head's cold. It's because the glare with the sun and the snow is too powerful.
I'm not snow blind. I'm bald blind.
Exactly. Nice. We're blinding each other with our bald ass heads every time we go out in public. This is, like I said, episode number 218, and we are in, I guess, chapter 2 of the book club. Did we figure out what the name was for it?
I was told, like, we had said it was Torn Pages or something like that.
That seems kind of stupid.
That seems kind of trash. So, yeah, that's probably
seems
what it was.
Seems kind of dog shit.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah. Before we get into it, though, I have a housekeeping note. A lot of people reached out to me and commented and in the Discord saying, "Hey, Mike, did you know that you re-uploaded episode 2 and a bunch of episodes?" No, I did not, okay? Here's what happened. At one point, I don't know why, but Spotify pulled those episodes. There was like 10 of them. And they're all first season Ansem Report episodes, including episode 2. And I don't know why it pulled them. I think it was something music related, but it never like told me. And so I just republished them thinking they would just go back into the order that they were supposed to. Well, they didn't. And so they're at the top of your feed now. So I apologize to everybody. And there's no way for me to fix it. I have them ordered properly. They say season 1, episode 2, for example, and they're still, because it was a quote unquote re-upload. No, they were just privated for some reason. So I don't know why, but you guys just have to deal with it. Unlucky. Anyway, a lot of people have taken that as an opportunity to re-listen to the podcast, and that's very cool, and I appreciate that. I've heard some rumblings that people want to know what happened to Addison.
It brought Addison back up.
It's brought Addison back up.
Might have to take him out of the closet, dust him off.
Yeah, the thing is, Addison's kind of like Tinkerbell. In the way that if you believe in Addison, maybe he'll come back.
True.
That's all I'll say on that on that topic. If more people believe in Addison, then maybe he'll come back. we're gonna dive into the 3 worlds we played here, and then after that, we'll get to the question of the week. I feel like we need like a jingle or something for when we like do this. You know, like bald baddies book club.
Bald baddies.
Someone commented about
It's the Bald Baddies Book Club.
The Night on Bald Mountain controversy, Jason.
Bald. Oh shit, okay. Bald news, guys. Bald news. Huge bald.
Will on Spotify said, "You're thinking of Hall of the Mountain King. It's also very possible I missed a step as a stupid kid when trying to trigger Sabor." So I don't remember their name is not the name we know them by on Spotify. So Will, I don't remember. I want to say it was Energy Scott, but I could be wrong. Who had the Sabor deal? That Sabor glitched on them. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
So I think that's what they're referencing. But
you're stupid.
I'm stupid. The song I was thinking of, the dun 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 dun, is Hall of the Mountain King.
Okay.
The song that plays when you fight Chernobog is Night on Bald Mountain. So I
just Night on Mountain
by,
to a guy like me.
Yeah, honestly, to a guy like Chernobog.
Yeah,
you know?
True.
Another bald baddie, Mr. Chernobog.
We got to get him
we
on
need like a
for
stinger.
a guest episode.
What, get Chernobog on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think when we get the KH3, we're gonna have to reach out to Xehanort.
Yeah, we need other bald guests. Like we need Data Rich.
Jiminy Cricket bald.
Yes,
throw that out there. Jiminy Cricket is actually bald.
The Jiminy Cricket VA, I think, is bald.
Wow. He's also very old.
Yeah.
And he's trapped in a... Never mind. Anyway, moving on. No one gets to know what I was going to say.
That is so getting cut.
So last time we talked about, Jay, that, hey, if you haven't gone to Traverse Town, or before you leave Traverse Town, you should go visit Merlin and use fire on the door. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to do that.
Oh. Well, I did it, and there's something, it's pretty uneventful. Like, he doesn't really give you anything at this point, other than a place to practice magic, which you only know fire at that point.
Right.
But what does happen is when you first walk in there, Sora has one of his Kyrie moments. And I thought it was pretty interesting because when we've had those already, have we even had any at this point? I think he saw Yuffie and thought Yuffie was Kyrie, but I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
But he'll continue to have these kind of visions where he sees Kyrie. And what's interesting about this one is she's talking about where they are. It's not like a memory he's seen. Like, they make it very clear. She's like, this place reminds me of the secret place back home. It's so musty. And we used to scribble on the walls there. So like,
it's so musty.
Yeah, it's musty. And then he's like, Kyrie? And then Donald and Goofy are like, Sora. And he turns around and the Kyrie's gone. So they're like, why the fuck are you talking to yourself, bro? What is happening here? And then that's when Merlin comes out. And he has his bag, all his shit's in his bag.
Full schizo mode.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like that room just like triggers like schizo episodes, right? Like, because like Merlin lives there, right? It's like a crack den, basically, you know? Like,
right. Right.
There's something in
Someone
the
pointed
air.
out. Someone pointed out that Merlin and the fairy godmother both live here, and there's only one bed.
Oh.
So. I would say she probably stays in her pumpkin.
Yeah, so she shrinks down into the pumpkin and then like just sleeps in there. You know, there's probably like a big ass bed in there.
Imagine you're Merlin, bro, and this girl would rather shrink herself and go into a pumpkin than sleep in the same bed with you, bro. Fucking unlucky.
Oh boy, unlucky.
Fucking unlucky for Merlin, bro. Anyway, after this, you move on and get to the gummy ship, and it's your first time controlling the gummy ship. Jay, did you make your own gummy ship?
Nah. I flew the Date Bio.
Yeah, I didn't either. I will at some point, but I have not yet. I'm torn on Kingdom Hearts 1 Gummy because I think I have a lot of nostalgia for it and a lot of love for it, even though it's kind of janky and I haven't created one in a while, but I remember the creator suite for it being really like hard to control and remember.
Yeah, it's not very intuitive.
And but I think it's a cool idea, and I think it gives another collectible to have, right? Because you collect like gummy pieces, and it's like,
yeah,
if you don't care about that, it's whatever. But like, it gives another thing that you can find in chests or characters can give you and stuff. That might be like a cool thing, and it's a cool way to kind of like fence off the other worlds until you've completed the others, like in lore wise. And so there's really cool things about it. But
and it makes
the
sense
fucking
that
missions,
they're like, you're not just like teleporting to different places, because then it's like, oh well, how do they get to these different worlds?
Right. The missions though are absolute dog shit, and I think in KH2 they did a much better job of like gamifying it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Than they do in this.
I literally found my eyes glazing over when I was going from Deep Jungle to Olympus. Like literally, I just fully zoned out and went like basically had like you know when you're like driving for a long time and then you kind of like zone back in and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Like you like come back into here? Consciousness. Yeah. I basically had that, but with the gummy. Like
yeah, you're like, wow, I'm at Deep Jungle.
I'm like, wait, what the? Oh my god, this is so terrible.
It's funny. I tell this story a lot. Well, one of my first experiences playing Kingdom Hearts is I had a bunch of my friends over when we were like, I don't know, when did Kingdom Hearts come out? 2002?
Yeah.
So I was probably a freshman in high school, and my friend Brandon, B, shoutouts to B, brought it over, and I'd seen the commercials and stuff and been like, yo, this commercial, with the Planet B remix and all that everybody loves. But I didn't have it yet, and everybody else, like there were probably like 10 people over there, and everybody else kind of fucked off to sleep, but me, B, and Addison stayed up just like playing. And I tell the story that we kept falling asleep, and then I'd like realize I'd wake up and go, morning boner, like that, and we'd all laugh.
Yeah.
But what we don't say is we were falling asleep because the gummy missions are fucking boring.
Yeah, real, dude. It's like melatonin. Like you got problems sleeping, dude? Load up KH1 gummy. Like, oh my god. Like I get there, like we're going through the beginning worlds, right? So like it's gotta these are the game. It's like a children's game, They gotta at least ease you into it. It can't be just like super difficult off rip. But even so, man, it is rough. Like it's basically like a 2-minute loading screen, and you're just like, and I'm like looking for things to like enjoy, and I'm not seeing jack shit, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
It's definitely one of the more undercooked parts of the game, and like at best it's boring, right? At worst it's like annoying and stops you from getting to the world you want to go to. You know what I mean? Like boring is like the good end of the spectrum,
especially like comparing it to like these beginning worlds. It's like prime KH1 nostalgia, and like I'm enjoying myself outside of having to fight the camera, and like having these parts where it's like a roller coaster of like I'm really enjoying myself, and like for me specifically, I'm like hearing it in a new context with new voice actors, and there's like some differences, but it's like basically the same meaning, right? But like, so I'm like really engaged and locked in, and then it's just like just straight down into just hold down X, and like for most of them you don't even really need to move much. You can go like up and to the left a little, and you literally can just sit there.
Right.
So
You mentioned the camera, and when our first play session, I was really not happy with the camera and how the game controls. And I know there's been those rumors of a KH1 remake that I don't think are true. But something happened in between my two play sessions, Jason, where I actually really I'm really thankful for how Kingdom Hearts 1 controls. Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
We tried to marathon platinuming Jak and Daxter, and I would every day of the week would rather play Kingdom Hearts than play Jak and Daxter control-wise.
And like what, you just lost your mind. You just completely lost it.
Woo! We're having a grand old time here in Jak and Daxter.
Yeah, like when you put it in the context of like it's 2002, how good are the controls, how good is the camera, for sure. I just constantly feel like, for one, I feel like the FOV, like where the camera is compared to where Sora is in KH1 is just closer than in 2 and 3. And so like I feel like
Especially
I can't
in 3.
see. And then like obviously like it was made and like played on like CRTs that are like more of like an actual square, right? So like it just, when it then gets stretched onto my monitor, it feels even more like that, right? So it's like I feel like I'm trying to like duck my head to like look under to like see up more, and like like I'm trying to look under the screen as a kid kind of thing, like
but
it's
my
rough.
point is that when you compare it to games of that era, it's actually pretty good. You know what I mean? Like there's still, it's not, it's just compared to like 2 and 3 and even like BBS and DDD, like it's a game of its time, right? And so I'm almost like, I was of the camp of, well, I don't care either way if they remake Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm going to play it, right? But like I don't think it needs it. Where now I'm kind of like, maybe it does not need it, but maybe it could use it. You know what I mean?
I think Kingdom Hearts 1 is the worst Kingdom Hearts mainline games out of 1, 2, and 3. And I don't think that that's like a crazy hot take or anything. But like, it's the first game. It's the worst game because they were like figuring out things, right? And now not everything, like obviously like certain things like level design in KH1 is really good comparatively to like something like 2. But then like, there are things like Combo Master and the gummies and the camera that just like really hold it back for me, and like the end game and stuff, and we'll get into that later. But like the enemy design, there's just like a lot, for whatever reason, like back then in video games, there was a lot of enemies that are just like annoying on purpose. It almost feels like, right? Where they're like, you can't hit me yet, or like the large body or the defender, where it's like you have to hit them from like a certain side, but like they literally have a thing that's like built into them where it's like, oh, you got the large body to like 30% HP, it will immediately flip around and go rage mode, and like
large bodies are particularly bad in this game. And like modern gaming does this, but what they do better is they give you a explicit tool to deal with those enemy types, right? Like a game like God of War, it's like, okay, here's a shield enemy. We gave you this move to deal specifically with shield enemies, right?
Right.
But Kingdom Hearts 1 doesn't really do that.
It's like, oh, you can use fire on it or whatever, but it's like that's like a limited resource that you have, and there's just certain things where it's like over time, like sitting there playing for a long time, I would just find myself being annoyed with like this type of enemy. And I think and to go back to what we were originally talking about, like with the camera, like when I'm doing the barrel breaking in Olympus, and I guess we can talk about it more then, but like the camera specifically, there's one part where like you can hit one barrel across into another one barrel, and I'm trying to line up the camera so that I can do that, right? It's just like it's a little like time save thing. You don't need to in any way, but like it's just something that you can do, and so I wanted to do it. I'm trying to turn the camera, and it's like there's like you have to hold it for a certain amount of time, and then it will like start to listen to you. But then it will like, it's like it has like almost like a mouse acceleration where like the more you do it, the faster. It just feels like the first second you're holding it, it's like barely moving. It's like like it does not want to move. It does not want you to let. It does not want to let you move the camera. It does not feel good.
Did you go to Wonderland first?
Yes, I went to Wonderland.
Okay,
I went Wonderland, Deep Jungle, Coliseum.
I did the same. I wanted to do Wonderland, Coliseum, Deep Jungle, but then I forgot they make you go to Deep Jungle if you go to it.
Oh, like it makes you land. Yeah, you have to go
it
back
makes
to
you
Traverse.
Land. Yeah. So, and I didn't realize that because like, oh, I'm not gonna go back to Traverse then gummy to Olympus. I'll just gummy around and skip Deep Jungle and then come back. And I forgot that they crash land you there. So I was like, ah, fuck. So I'm doing Deep Jungle first, I guess. But so you get to Wonderland, and Wonderland is interesting because how do I say this? I think people have a negative perception of Wonderland in Kingdom Hearts 1. And I think it's just kind of merely fine. I almost can't decide what would be better because it's clearly the first world you're supposed to go to, right? They were like, oh, this will be like a fun introduction to Disney. But to me, it's like, I guess I don't really vibe with Alice in Wonderland in general. But I feel like the world itself isn't very impressive. It's very much like a diorama. Or like a boxed in world, even when you're supposed to be quote unquote outside. Like they make a point of making it look like a box where like you go to other worlds and they're clearly a box, but they at least give you the illusion like Deep Jungle.
Yeah.
Deep Jungle, it's like, oh, it looks like there's way more jungle out there, right?
Yeah.
Olympus, it's a box, but like, oh, there's clouds and stuff over there where they made the decision with Wonderland to make it like every room like just this big box. And I don't really, am I missing something about Wonderland about Alice in Wonderland the movie that makes it that way? You know what I mean? Like I don't think so.
She falls down a rabbit hole, so like she's like underground or whatever, so technically it would have like a ceiling kind of thing, but I
suppose
don't know.
That's true. But does it? Cuz like I feel like, I mean, again, I haven't seen this original movie in
I haven't seen the original movie in forever.
Probably since I was a very small kid, and
yeah.
I don't know that I even liked it then. And then I haven't really seen any of the like Johnny Depp or like the, you know what I mean? Like I haven't really looked into that shit at all.
Those.
Someone in the comments ring in. Does this make sense for this movie, or is it just something they did for limitation's sake? Because like one thing I will say, playing Jack and Daxter, it's like, oh, that's like a really cool like kind of open worldy thing where you can see islands and go to them, kind of, you know what I mean? Like they do a really good job with that world, even if the game controls like absolute dog shit.
And it does a skybox instead of a hard ceiling.
Right. So I wonder if there's just a reason for that in the development of Wonderland. But running through the world, kind of a recap. You go in and you meet the door. Well, first you meet the rabbit who's late, you know, and then you meet the door and he's like, hey, if you want to get shrunk, drink that shit on the table. I'm sleepy. And then you walk into
He's
what
like
they
way
call
less of a dick in Japanese. I always felt like
he?
the doorknob's way more of a dick in English.
Yeah, he's like, don't fucking bother me. I'm fucking sleepy. You know,
he seems like kind of mad, bro.
Yeah. Like, you fucking woke me up. Which, hey, I get it, bro. If I get woken up like that, I'm fucking pissed too, you know? I get it. I identify with the doorknob, but you're right. He's kind of a dick. But we walk into Alice on trial with the Queen of Hearts. They call this area the Queen's Castle, which is hilarious because it is just like a box room.
Well, and it's like a
shrubbery
court room.
Right. And she's basically like, you're under arrest because I say so. And we find out that the Heartless did some shit, but Alice is being blamed for it. And the Queen is terrifying. And I think it's really interesting that Goofy's eyeball disappears during this cutscene every time, because you pointed it out on stream once, and I watched this time, and his eyeball just disappears. His left eyeball. It just goes away. I don't know why. And maybe like they were like, oh, his eyes are going like crazy, but they don't convey that because of the camera angle, so it just looks like his eyeball,
He's just
his
soulless
pupil just
there.
disappears. Yeah. And so Sora interrupts, even though it would be muddling, and they say, hey, you need to find us some proof then, and we're going to lock Alice up until you find
We're
this
gonna off with her
evidence.
head.
Right, exactly. And so you have to go around the forest kind of finding clues, and the Cheshire Cat introduces himself to you. Not voice acted, by the way, which pretty strange, because they voice act the rabbit, they voice act the queen, they voice act Alice, but they didn't get a Cheshire Cat voice actor. And he talks to you probably the most of anybody in this world.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. It was really hard for me to like read through it because like for one, it's like getting into the brain of like switching languages in my brain. Like it takes a second to get into, and then like when it's in cutscene, so like I have like the subtitles and I have the audio, like I can understand like 98% of it or whatever, right? But when it comes to like the Cheshire Cat specifically, because he like talks weird, and then there's like kanji that I don't know because he's like using weird words and stuff that you would never normally use, and like that one was like really hard for me to be like to get into that my current play session this time, because okay, you're starting it and it's a weird as hell world. Okay, nice. So I don't really have too much to talk about in this world from a Japanese standpoint. Just like there's something the Queen says later that's kind of funny.
From a game design standpoint, they do something really smart here. Is there's these flowers that you can give either potions or ethers to and you need to do it to make yourself big at one point. And there's a blue trinity that gives you a potion and 2 ethers. And so like there's no like, it's like, hey, you're using your resources, but we're just going to give you the resources just in case you either A, didn't have them, or B, didn't want to use them, right? And so they invite you to do it, which I think is, smart game design typically. But you find the 4 pieces of evidence through various means. They're not really that hard to find if you just kind of explore the whole area, right?
Yeah. Well, what's funny is you don't actually need to do the whole flower
No,
thing.
you don't.
If you just grab the one box, then you can go.
Right. Right. But if you want to see the whole world, like,
yeah,
and you want to get all the evidence, you do need to do it. But you bring the evidence back, and I got all 4 pieces of evidence, Jay, and I still somehow got Donald and Goofy locked up.
Oh man. Yeah, I just got the one, and then I went and I just chose a random one.
I think it's supposed to be the one that drops last is the right one, or something like that.
Yeah, I believe that's the trick.
The one that drops last is the wrong one, maybe.
If you have all, yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember what the trick is, but I just got Donald locked up. But I'm also on baby beginner with using all the power ups, so I was not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. But the fight is super fun. I remember as a kid, this fight being a huge roadblock for me, because I would always forget that you have to kill the tower first.
Mm-hmm.
Or like that's how you kill the tower. You just kill the tower or whatever. So I would just
be fighting
the cards
yeah.
every time that they would come. And so I'm just like, if you watched me, you'd be like, oh my god, bro, just hit the tower. Like I'm just like 1v1ing every card that comes up, and then I start hitting the tower. Like it made no sense, bro.
Well, I think the way games were designed back then, though, like it made you believe that you had to do it that way, right?
Right.
Like that they were like, oh, you got to do this first, then you can do this. Because I remember feeling that way too, and I was like, a teenager. So, but no, this fight is cool. I like how they do a good job of, like, fighting the queen doesn't make a ton of sense, right?
Yeah.
because she's just kind of like a lady, you know? So, like, having you fight the cards and then giving you this, like, object to hit to fight off the cards, I think is a good way to incorporate, like, the Disney-ness into it and not just going, hey, here's a random Heartless, right?
Yeah.
Which I think we'll see more as the series goes on. We'll see just kind of those random Heartless that pop up. But once you win, the cage drops down and Alice is no longer in it.
What?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
funny, so in that fight, I like have vivid memory of like, you know, the queen like, get them, you fools, and like stuff like that. And in Japanese, she's saying mataku nani yattendayo, which is just like, oh my god, what are you doing? Basically, right?
Oh, that's funny.
And then I
That's
wanted to
funny.
go back because I was like, I just wanted to make sure I was quoting it right. And so I have this playthrough of the original Japanese, and so I went to that part, and in the original Japanese, there's no extra voice, like she does not talk during the fight, like it's just
so they didn't.
Yeah, so
Just
it's
the
something
final
that they
mix.
added in Final Mix.
Oh, interesting. Huh. So maybe this world was even less voice acted before.
All right.
Wow. Okay. So now you're supposed to go into the forest again, and that boulder that was blocking the way to a new area gets spit out by the flower, and you go in there, and it's the Mad Hatter's like tea party, right? And I'm just confused as to why the Mad Hatter isn't here.
It feels like it was a thing where like they wanted to, but then they like ran out of time, kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe, but it's like you don't even have to have him voice act like the Cheshire Cat. You just like sit him there and he says something very merry on birthday, because you look at the picture and you talk to it and it goes a very merry on birthday. Like I guess they just didn't want to make the model. It's just very strange.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
like just the slow blinking that they always have the NPCs do.
Yeah. Well, it to me, it's just like, oh, we're referencing the movie you're in. Remember this? And it's like, I don't know, man. Like,
Well, there's like
it's a little
nothing to do in
little
that
lazy.
room at this point.
right. It's just like, oh, we went to this room, and then it will get you to the upside down version of the main room.
And like there's like
where
a
you
couple of
light the
chests you
candles.
can't get to from right there.
Right. You got to come back later when you can jump a little higher. So you defeat the Heartless in the room. You light the 2 candles, and he's like, "Hey, this area's changed. The shadows are here now, but in another version of the room." And it's like, what? So he means go back to the normal version, and this is where you meet the bane of everybody's existence, the Trick Master.
Bum bum bum. And for
Bum,
some
bum,
reason he's like
bum.
blue and or he's like green, pink and purple. It's like, why?
I'll be honest. Of the recolorings, I think he's probably the best. But as someone said in the Discord, like that's not a very high bar to jump over.
Well,
you
it's
know?
like, bro, like the only way I'm not like absolutely triggered about like most of these recolors is like, oh yeah, they had some like kid color them that was like had some type of disease or something, you know?
Yeah.
So they did it in honor of them. Like that's the only explanation that I will take for this. It's like he literally was like the same colors as the Queen of Hearts, basically, right? You got like the black, the red, the white, like
well,
that
and he
type
was
of
the
stuff,
same
and the
colors
yellow.
as guard armor too, right? But now he's the same color as like Parasite Cage and Monstro.
Yeah.
Like he's that same color scheme now. So it's like I don't know if they were trying to connect those. But I don't know. It's very strange. This boss fight sucks, by the way. This is the game putting an enemy in front of you that you don't really have the tools to deal with properly, and they go, "Hey, here's a chair and a table," right?
Yeah.
I didn't even bother with the chair and table. I just mashed jump and X until I could hit him in his grundle over and over and over until he died. But this is probably my least favorite fight in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it's really bad. Cause like you don't have like a lot of tools, and there's ways that you can like make the fight easier. Like there's like a tech with the blizzard in the furnace and stuff, so he can't light his hands. Cool. And if you have thunder, like if you went the other way around, you can use thunder on him and stuff. But yeah, it's rough. I had like the quickest kill. Like I remember having done the KH1 speedrun before and like learning it. Bro, I'm pretty sure this time I killed it faster than when I was like trying to speedrun. Like
oh my God.
Stun locked, bro. He did not move from the table. Like I just killed him. I did the jump swing up because if you like you were saying, like if you jump and press X at the height of your jump, Sora does kind of almost like a uppercut slash kind of thing.
Right.
And that hit can do it. And so you just like do jump one hit, and I just stun locked, bro. It was disgusting.
I'm so happy for you. Mine took forever. He's just a prick. Yeah, right. He's just a prick. I hate the Trick Master. Me and all my homies hate the Trick Master. When you defeat him finally, there's a cutscene that plays where his heart flies to the sky, and then the doorknob kind of yawns and reveals that there's a keyhole in his mouth, which, surprise. And this thing happens where this laser shoots out of your Keyblade, and there's a big locking noise.
Well, it's like the Kingdom Key has its
gummy.
own mind of its own. Like it.
Right.
Sora's just holding the Keyblade, and then it's like he's holding onto it, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And then it locks the keyhole itself. Because like at this point, it's like the Keyblade is almost like on some like the One Ring type shit, where it's like it has its own like will, is basically how it seemed back then, right? Where it's like, oh, it chooses this person, and it can go from person to person, and then the fact that it like reacts to this and like is like magnetically pulled to it or whatever, like it wants to do it kind of thing,
right?
Is very, it's something I never noticed before, really.
Yeah, because I guess the idea is like, how would Sora know to do that, right?
Yeah.
And so he doesn't. The key does it for him. I'm glad we've kind of gotten away in future games from this whole Keyblade nose shit. Has a personality,
right?
So we don't need to turn into Thor: Love and Thunder here, you know. Where the Keyblade starts getting jealous, you know.
The ex-girlfriend vibes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you move on to I moved on to Deep Jungle, which it sounds like you did as well.
Yeah.
This is a controversial part of the game for me, and for a lot of people. People don't like Deep Jungle, but that's not what I'm getting at. I actually kind of like Deep Jungle. What I don't like is the Donald Sora friction. And I've seen people in the Discord say like that's one of their favorite things about this. And I don't know, man. Donald just comes off as just a huge asshole through all of this. And I get Donald's a little bit prickly character-wise, but he's not like a dick. You know what I mean? Like and he comes off as like him trying to stop Sora from finding his friends after telling him, "Hey, this is like one of the things we can do is we can help you find your friends." It's kind of fucked up, honestly.
Well, and he literally in Traverse Town has the line where like Goofy is like, he's like, "Oh, I can go with you guys. I can help find my friends." And then Goofy says to Donald like, "Yeah, but what about finding the king?" And he's like, "Well, he doesn't need to know. He doesn't need to know that like we're just using him."
And there it's played as cartoon mischief a bit, but like here it's he does it later as well, that we'll talk about when we get to it, but like he just kind of like is mean to Sora, and Sora's not great back. You know, he's a kid. You know, but it's just I don't like it.
Especially with the context that like Donald is supposed to be like the adult in the situation,
right?
And
Exactly.
like he's like the grand wizard of the court kind of thing.
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like
a dick to this like 13-year-old.
And I get like a lot of times you have to have friction between people that are like traveling together to like move forward the plot, but I think you could have them argue more without it being so stark and have it be like what they needed and what they couldn't do, because what we talked about last episode is they needed some sort of clue that would like drive them away from where Sora thought Riku and Kairi were, because Mickey was the other direction. Then it's like, okay, Donald's not just doing this to be a dick. He's trying to complete his mission, right? But they never do that. They never go, there's mouse turds over here. Mickey must be this way. You know what I mean? Like they don't ever do
turds this way.
Right, exactly. They never do that where it's like, hey,
like
one of them
human
has to make like a decision. They just go, hey, we're just going to argue for no reason, you know? And
like
so
a ghost
Kairi
is telling him to go one way, and then the other way is like there was like a lucky emblem kind of thing, you know?
Yeah,
like...
Mickey left a letter and said, go this way, clearly. You know what I mean? Like, they could have done it better other than just like
that
would have
been cool
for no real
if
reason.
Instead of being a circle, it had a branching path there, right? And then maybe eventually it turns into a circle once you've gone all of it, but it's like, okay, if they hard forced you to go to one first, right? Like, okay, you have to go to Wonderland first, and then from there you can choose to go either way. And then like, you know, they have like a scene inside the gummy ship where it's like, okay, yeah, they have the letter from Mickey and it says at the branching path, go right or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then go left is deep jungle, and Sora sees like a Kairi out in space saying to go left, but the letter says floating to go right, and then that's where they fight, and then you can kind of decide from there.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Or even if they forced you to go one way, that's fine still too, but at least they're giving like Donald a reason other than Mickey's definitely not there. I know because reasons. You know?
Source, trust me, bro.
Because then I would like, I'd understand Donald a little more in this scenario, where here he's just kind of a dick. But you're forced to go to Deep Jungle if you pass it, where Sora crash lands into the treehouse and fights Sabor.
Well, what's crazy is, okay, they crash land, it messes up the gummy ship or whatever, right? But the idea is that he not only crashes, but gets ejected from the gummy ship.
Yeah.
Like, what is the safety measures? You're in a dome. So, like, did you go through the glass? Like, did the glass open up? Like, what the hell?
Did Donald throw him out?
Right. Like, what? Someone needs to check the safety measures on the gummy ship, dude. This is not up to protocol.
And so you crash land through the
suicide doors on the gummy ship.
Yeah, we need OSHA involved, I think. This shit isn't okay. You crash land, fight Sabor, and then Sabor tries to play dead and get you, but Tarzan jumps to save the day. And there's this part where Sabor goes to bite and he puts his little spear up to like stop and have Sabor bite it, and that's like a huge part of the Kingdom Hearts commercial. Like every time I see that part, I'm like, oh, that's so good, you know?
Dude, I remember as a kid having being like legitimately scared of Sabor, because it's like, you know, it's a wild animal, and it like the idea is that it killed Tarzan's parents, even though like it wouldn't be the same one, right? Like in reality, but like It's just crazy. Like I remember my heart rate would go up and I would be like tense anytime fighting Sabor as a kid. I was terrified of Sabor.
Well, we used to watch this movie a ton. Like this was one of your favorite movies as a child, was Tarzan. Like you used to watch it quite a bit.
It's a banger.
So I think that's why I'm a little more positive on Deep Jungle than most people. Because I just have this fondness for this movie, and I think they did a much better job with the source material than like say like Wonderland. I do understand that the world is confusing and frustrating in a lot of ways. But I just have a lot of nostalgia for it, man, and I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie. And then the music that Yoko Shimomura came up with for this area, the fight music and just the field music, are incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
that
S
shit is
tier.
like, yeah. Um, so
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
think
be a
what-
little more positive than the average person, I think.
I think what it makes it hard for me is like, okay, like if I'm just like in the like from the frame of mind of like, okay, I haven't played this at all, I don't know where I'm going kind of thing. If you do the order that we did, you're just like hella lost in Wonderland, and it's only like 4 rooms or whatever, but you're still like, okay, where am I going? There's like tons of platforms to jump on. You got these like the puzzle with the flowers and stuff. You're making yourself bigger and smaller. You're like trying to figure out where the hell to go, and you basically have to go like in a big loop in that world, right?
Right.
Then to go to this, which is the same thing. And I get that it's like, oh, thematically, Wonderland, you're supposed to get lost in it. And oh, it's a jungle. Of course you'd get lost. But it's like back to back, really? Like, I just want to like know where to go, right? Like, exploring is like it. Obviously, if it was from the frame of mind of like, okay, I don't know where to go, I'm just exploring, it's my first time going into any of these rooms, I'm not gonna feel the grading of like, okay, where do I go now or whatever as much. But like still, I remember being so lost and like having to retrek through different areas, and like the vines mini game is like bait basically, and then like there's just a ton of stuff where you're like, okay, where the hell do I go now? And then the fact that you have to loop up and down and up and down and up and down is like, now that is what makes me really dislike the world compared to like, if whenever I don't play Kingdom Hearts 1 for a long time, I'm like, man, I love Deep Jungle. You know, like the music, the aesthetic, it's very green. Any like world that has that type of like aesthetic, I'm already going to be a fan of. And then Tarzan's cool. I loved the movie as a kid. Obviously, we already said I watched it a ton as a kid. I have so many reasons to like this world, but because of how you're like just lost for so long, and then like I remember as a kid thinking that like you had to go fight Sabor in a bunch of different places in order to progress or something, but that's not really the case. And of replaying it, I'm like, man, with these two back to back of like, okay, I don't know where I'm going at all. I don't know where I'm going at all. And it's just like retread, but it's like kind of annoying to retread in Deep Jungle because of the like hippos like jump and stuff. Like as a kid, I remember being like missing that like 20 million times, and then like
well, and if you don't know that you can skip the sliding too.
That too, yeah, having to do the slide every time you go down.
I did the slide the first time, and then every other time I
yeah,
exited.
Same. The second time I'm like starting to go through it, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Like I just skipped out. There's one thing I do think it's funny that for whatever reason in the AI of Tarzan, he just has to hit like every branch, like not just like
he's not very good.
No, not even just like that. Like he like physically, like he jumps and then like hits, like he does his attack. Like
right.
He literally attacks the shit. I don't know, like what did they do to his AI to make him do that? Like why? Like why is he ruining this nature? Like or like trying to, he's like attacking the trees. Like it's kind of funny. I will say in the very first room where you run into Tarzan, in English, Sora like immediately picks up that this guy like he does the thing that it's like, I'm speaking English slowly so you can understand me, even though that makes no sense, but it ends up working. In Japanese, bro is just yapping at him, and then when he says like friend, like in Japanese, like tomodachi, like he says it like that, right? But then he just goes right back to speaking normally. Like that that part is just completely lost in Japanese, where there's like a language barrier kind of thing.
He kind of does
there.
that. He kind of does that because he realizes that, Tarzan doesn't speak very good English. And then he starts talking slowly. And then he's like, friends. And then he's like, okay, so the loud one's Donald. And then he kind of like stops. And he's like, no, I'm looking for my friends Riku and Kairi, right? But he starts yapping a bit about Donald and Goofy before he catches himself. So I think...
Well, and then certain
think
things, like when he's like, Sora, go, right? Like, in Japanese, saying like Sora, iku, is like not that, is not really weird. Right. Like, oh, are you gonna go? Like, if somebody says, oh, are you gonna go? In Japanese, we say, oh, iku. Like, yeah, I'll go. Like, there's a lot of like the language barrier, like, is not nearly as prevalent and obvious.
Yeah.
In the Japanese version.
Yeah. Sora also sees Kairi again, like the brain tumor is affecting his brain more because he sees Kairi again just behind Tarzan.
Yeah,
while Tarzan's talking.
I mean, there's like a lore reason, but if we're not going into spoilers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
no, it's a brain tumor. They reveal it.
It's funny that, like you said, because I didn't do the Merlin thing, that she talks and stuff. In this, she doesn't.
Yeah.
She's just like back behind him.
Well, and Sora kind of like looks over and like he's like doing the thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely listening to you, but you're not. But he's not to Tarzan, because Tarzan just starts to yap a bit in his own way, but Sora never goes like, oh Kairi, hey, like he never he doesn't acknowledge it other than he just leans over and looks.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, I don't think we need to go through the minutia of this world that you travel all around and all that. But I want to talk about Tarzan here for a second, because I feel like bro is very misleading to Sora here. And I think it's on purpose. Because he's like, friends here. And Sora's like, wait, my friends are here? And then he says this word that we don't understand, right? It's just a bunch of symbols. But then it's in line with the movie when he's like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Jane, stay with Tarzan, right? But he reveals later, towards the end of the world, that he means home. Right? He's saying, friends here, home. So he led Sora on this kind of wild goose chase just to like teach him a lesson. You know what I mean? Like he led him on this wild goose chase just to be like, your friends are always in your heart. Like, brother, like what are we doing? Like, why? You mean that my friends aren't actually here?
I guess I never read it as that. To me, it was more just like, oh yeah, like I have friends here. And he's like talking about like his friends, not Riku and Kairi, right? Like, to me, it always just came off across as like, yeah, they might be there, kind of thing, right? Like, oh, if you're here, maybe they're in a different place here, kind of thing. And then I read it as like, okay, so, Clayton is like pressuring Tarzan, yo, show me where the home of the gorillas is, and I like that they basically use the idea that, like, okay, since Tarzan hasn't gone back to his home, he doesn't know if Sora's friends are there. And because I read it as, like, he feels pressured to show them where his home is so that Sora can see if his friends are there. And that's why he has to show Clayton where the gorilla's home is. Like, oh, he doesn't trust Clayton, but Clayton's here, and I need to show Sora my home because they might be there.
Okay, so I think that's probably the reading that the developers intended, right? But to me, Tarzan's not stupid. Tarzan doesn't speak English, and he doesn't know anything about culture because he was raised by apes. But he's not stupid. And to me, that reading paints Tarzan as stupid. Why would his friends be there, Tarzan? You know what I mean?
See, I more so saw it's like okay, well, Clayton found Donald and Goofy. He found Sora in the house. He doesn't know that Kairi and Riku like weren't inside the gummy ship. He's like thinking, oh yeah, they might be here. Sure, like
I guess. I
let's
don't know.
go check my home and
just,
see if they're chilling there with Kerchak or whatever, you know?
I just feel like that is like the least likely place for them to be. And because he's like home, it's like, well, because then at the end, Jay, he's like, friends, home, right? Or here, right? Like and points at his heart. So to me, it's like he's teaching, like he's telling your friends will always be with you because they're in your heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like without that part of it, I 100% agree with that reading. And I do agree that that's probably what they intended. But to me, it's like, what? This was just like a wild fucking goose chase, you know? But, I mean, I guess that's the whole game, right? It's a wild fucking goose chase. Donald and Goofy ended up at the rock where you fight Sabor, and they meet Turk, and Turk shits out a gummy block. And that's where they meet Clayton. And Clayton's quite the character, Jason. He's kind of a fan favorite at this point.
Mike, hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you go away?
No, I just didn't hear you say anything for the last like 20 seconds. I was like, Mike, hello.
Oh, you didn't. I said something and you didn't say anything.
What did you say? I don't know if I cut out.
I was talking about Clayton.
Yeah, no, I did not hear that shit. I think I cut out for a second.
Yeah, I think you did, because I was like, this is where Donald and Goofy meet Clayton, and Clayton's a fan favorite, and people tend to really like Clayton here.
And
that's what
no, I like his English voice actor a lot. He's just he's kind of serving, you know. He's kind of serving a little bit, you know. Like he's just kind of got. Yeah, I'll say in Japanese, I feel like he doesn't have as much aura personally.
No, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Although, okay, so like when you meet, like, I've been going around as much as I can and like talking to NPCs and stuff. One, to like smell the roses, and two, also to just like, you know, see if there's anything funny that they say comparatively, right? And when you can, right when you meet them, and then like Clayton leaves the tent, he goes over and stands by the table where there's like the homage to Beauty and the Beast, right? And you talk to him, and in Japanese, he says something along the lines of like "Ore wa Clayton Hunter da," which is like, to me, because of how they put Clayton Hunter, it seemed like he was saying like his full name basically, right? And I was like, wait, is Clayton's full name Clayton Hunter? Like Hunter is his last name, and then he just happens to be a hunter, but because he's not saying like Clayton the Hunter, and he's not saying I'm Clayton, I'm a hunter. He's not saying either of those. It's just Clayton Hunter da, right? And so that's what made me go and look on like Disney's wiki, and I found out that Clayton's full name is William Cecil Clayton, which is funny. Like,
so Clayton is
I never
his
knew
last
that was
name.
his last. Yeah, I never knew that was his last name, which then put it two and two together because, Jane calls him Clayton-san, which it like wouldn't make sense if it was his first name, right? And so I was like, wait a second, they knew and I did it? Like, how did I not know Clayton wasn't his real name, like his first name? Like,
yeah, I bet it's William Cecil Clayton.
Cecil.
I feel like Cecil is a very American way of saying that name. I think it's Cecil.
Cecil. Because he's freaking British. True.
You know, because he's British.
I also, as we've been like meeting new characters, I've been looking at the voice actors, and most of the voice actors are like not super popular. A lot of the ones so far have been just like, oh, they did some like, what's the word? Like, oh, they did a bunch of Disney characters, or like they did like just this character kind of thing. Like a lot of one-offs and a lot of like ones where they're doing the localization for Japan basically for various things, right? But I found out that the woman that does the voice acting for Jane also is the voice actress for Ariel. And that's for the official movies and then also in Kingdom Hearts. So they're just both voice acted by the same woman.
Well, that's the woman in English who does Alice is Wendy from Peter Pan as well. She's the original voice actor for both, and then she does them in Kingdom Hearts as well. So, which is crazy because I think she was like in her 60s when she did Kingdom Hearts or something.
That's wild.
And the fact that she could still do that voice, she's passed now, but the fact that she could still do that voice is crazy to me.
Yeah, there was somebody on the page. There's like a couple of people on the page for KH2 where like on there behind the voice actor like page, their headshot is in black and white. I was like, bro, what?
Yeah. Disney likes to cast an official voice actor and then they keep that until they can't anymore, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like the Queen of Hearts VA, her thing is in black and white. I was like, whoa, wait, what?
I'm not gonna we're not gonna step by step go through this world because there's a lot of up and down, but there's a point where we head to the treehouse and Clayton's trying to shoot Turk and Kerchak sees it. And I want to talk about Kerchak for a second because this is the second kind of world in a row where they have what I would consider to be a key character to what's going on not be voice acted. Now, Kerchak doesn't have any lines because he can't speak English, right? He can only speak Gorilla.
Yeah.
But like there are moments where Tarzan is speaking English because he's speaking Gorilla to Kerchak and Kerchak just doesn't respond.
Yeah.
And it bothers me a bit.
For sure. It feels weird. Not even making like a roaring noise or anything at him, right? Like
right.
They couldn't do anything.
Right. And I even as when I first played this game, I was like, this is weird. Why doesn't Kerchak say anything?
It was horrifying.
I think it's because I had such reverence for the movie, right? I was like, Kerchak needs to say some shit, you know?
Right.
Clayton's excuse for almost shooting Turk is there was a snake that slithered by. You see? And it's like very cartoony.
I was trying to help him.
I saved that poor gorilla's life. You know, like it's like, come on, dude. Get out of here. You're a funny guy. So around this time, this is when, Jane yells at Clayton and says, "You're not allowed to go near the gorillas again." And this is when he says imbeciles. But this is also around the time where Clayton gets taken by the Heartless, basically.
When he shoots and they're in the tent and they don't check to see what he was shooting,
right.
What?
Right.
It would make more sense if they had him walk to the next room or something and then shoot. Yeah. But then he's 2 rooms away or whatever, and then they hear his gunshot then, and then they're like, oh shit, what's going on?
Yeah.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, and they missed a prime opportunity to do in the movie when Tarzan hears that gunshot, he thinks it's called Clayton. And so every time he hears a gunshot, he goes, Clayton, like that. And they could have done that, and that would have been tight. I would have liked that.
True.
You literally kill Sabor. They do this crazy shot when you fight Sabor again, where it's Sabor's POV looking at Sora and Tarzan, and then it collapses, and it sees a white light. It's really
POV.
It's really crazy, actually, for a children's game.
POV, you just got slaughtered by a kid with pointy hair and a key.
Right. It's really wild for a children's game. To kind of cut forward here a bit, because you save Jane and the monkeys, you do all this stuff. And then you meet up with Clayton, and Tarzan says the gorilla word for what I assume is Heartless, and then says, not Clayton, not Clayton. And you fight him, and this is when people talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 and not being able to fight Randall and stuff like that, this is what they want, is they want to be able to beat the shit out of a humanoid character who has a fucking gun. You know what I mean? Like, and he's
Yeah.
jumping around and shooting you with his shotgun and saying PogChamp.
PogChamp.
PogChamp. And then when you damage him enough, we get the reveal of the Stealth Sneak, which is like an iconic Kingdom Hearts boss for me.
Yeah.
It just bursts through the wall and you don't even know what's there. You're like, what is this even? And he like gets on it and he's riding it. And then only through hitting it a few times it gets revealed as a giant like chameleon. But like, it's really cool how they reveal it. And Tarzan runs towards it and gets like bashed backwards. And you're like, what is this? Right?
Yeah, they do a good job of giving it presence and aura immediately.
Yeah. And then it's revealed, and they didn't recolor it, but they added all these like kind of tribal tattoos to it.
Yeah,
because those weren't in the original version, right?
Brozon is no, I don't think so. Brozon is like Jeff Hardy shit or something, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So they didn't recolor it, which is good because it's just like a green chameleon. But they gave him all these tats. But then you have to knock Clayton off and kill Clayton separately. Stealth Sneak will just regenerate health if you kill it. And I love how the wall that it busts through, if you like hit Clayton into it, like more of it breaks off.
Yeah.
Which this game doesn't really do a lot of things like that, but I just thought that was really cool. And it's just satisfying beating Clayton's ass, I'm not gonna lie to you. And he dies by the Stealth Sneak dying and falling on top of him, which isn't how he dies in the movie, because he gets fucking
hung by his own anger.
Hung by vines, and you just see his shadow in the lightning flashing, which is like fucking brutal for a kid's movie. But this is still pretty brutal, I feel like. He kind of gets, smushed. After that, you get brought to the gorilla's home, which is where the keyhole is.
Kerjack just throws your ass like into orbit.
Yeah, the angle of which he throws you is insane, and there's no way you would have landed where you landed.
Yeah.
Just he fucking rockets Sora into fucking space, dude. Yeah. And it's crazy.
Well, and the idea is like, oh, you couldn't have climbed up this spot, but then the climbing you have to do in the next room is like harder than what you would have had to do to get up on that cliff.
True. But yeah, you unlock the keyhole there and you get another gummy piece, and this is when Tarzan does the friends, and points to his chest.
Maybe
no heart, no friends. And Goofy and Donald apologize to each other, and everybody's happy. And then Turk comes up and starts rubbing up on Donald. And he goes, no, Daisy would kill me.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
In English, does Jane say, oh, she wants to be your girlfriend or some shit?
She says someone has a new admirer.
Yeah, in Japanese, it's something along the lines of like, oh yeah, she's trying to be your girlfriend type shit. Like they use the term like kanojo, which is girlfriend.
And Donald's like, Daisy would kill me.
Yeah.
If once you beat Deep Jungle, we get a view into the Veil of Villains, and they talk about how Clayton gave in too much to the darkness and the heartless, and that's why
he was too weak.
He failed. And Oogie Boogie, Maleficent says that it was too tasty. She says the power was too tasty. And then Oogie Boogie's like, and he got chomped himself. It's like, come on, man. Come on, Oogie Boogie. And we get the Jafar reveal, which it's like, okay, of course that was Jafar. We know.
Yeah.
And they talk about how it's a problem. He found the keyhole, and Maleficent's not worried because the other plan, which is the princesses keep falling into her hands one by one. And interesting here, Jay, Alice gets revealed.
Yep.
Unless you went Olympus, then Deep Jungle, and it's Snow White then, because you haven't played Wonderland at that point.
Yeah, and they didn't want to like spoil that Alice was
right.
Well, and then also when it makes sense for her to then be in the world as well, right? Like,
right.
Oh, but they capture her.
Why Alice is she being a princess?
Stretch. She's a druggie.
Oh my god, dude! Like, and we've talked about this before, so I don't think we need to like go in depth on it. But it's just like, what a reach, you know? What an absolute. I'd rather have Jane be a princess than Alice. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
No, that's facts. That's facts.
So here you get, because you don't get the Wonderland Keyblade when you beat Wonderland. You have to do more, right?
And you like get it from like a chest or whatever, right?
Yeah. Where here you get Jungle King, which fucking slaps, and you need to equip it right away.
What's funny is in Japanese it's called native work.
Huh?
I don't know
Native
why.
work?
Yeah. Native waku. Like, yo, it's a work by the natives or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, the natives made it for you.
Yeah.
So then we end up at Olympus Coliseum. And Olympus Coliseum, of course, cannot be completed here, but you can complete the first part of it. The idea is that you want to enter the tournament and feels like you're not heroes, so you can't. And then you go to leave, and Hades shows up, and he gives you a pass to enter the tournament. And his hope is that a Final Fantasy character named Cloud Strife will kill you in the tournament and kind of kill two birds with one stone and then kill Hercules. The problem with that is Cloud's a little bitch. Cloud can't kill nobody, okay? He's not that tough. But you get some fun scenes with Phil, but this is mostly just like you get the barrel training that you talked about, and then you get like a few rounds of like the first like tournament, right?
Yeah. I feel like I remember getting like more rounds before fighting Cloud. Like it's just like a false memory that I have.
Yeah. I mean, later in like the later tournaments, you fight him.
Yeah.
There's not a ton to talk about here, like story-wise.
No, not really. I will say in Japanese, Cloud has like pretty much always had the same voice actor. It's not the same as in English where there's been multiple. And so like if you were like a fan of Final Fantasy, then this Cloud voice actor is just the Cloud voice actor always and forever, right? So like,
yeah,
I feel like that moment would probably be a lot cooler because you feel very much like attached to that voice and stuff, right?
Well, had Advent Children come out at this point? I think it had.
Yeah, I don't know,
because that would have been the first time Cloud would have been voice acted, was Advent Children.
Right. But like he would then continue to have that voice, right? So
right.
I think that's something
you
that
know what?
like doesn't
I don't think
hit
Advent
as
Children
much.
had come out yet.
So this would have been the first time you heard him, but then he just continues to do it then?
So this was the first time you heard him because, and the reason I know this is because, and maybe it had come out in Japan, but it had not come out in the US because in Kingdom Hearts 2, they switched all the voice actors to the Advent Children voice actors. I'm pretty sure.
Advent Children came out in Japan in 2005.
Yep. So it hadn't even come out there yet. Because here they kind of, I mean, Cloud's voice actor, I don't even remember his name, but all the other like characters were kind of voiced by like Disney Channel people, right?
Right.
Like, Christy Carlson Romano and Mandy Moore and
His
Lance
name
Bass.
is Steve Burton in this game.
Steve Burton. That's what it is. I couldn't remember it. Cloud's design is interesting in this because the idea was originally that Nomura wanted to put Vincent in the game, not Cloud. But he took elements of Vincent's design and put them on Cloud when they changed it to Cloud. Like the red cape.
Well, I remember like as a kid, like, because I didn't really know Cloud, like, because I didn't play FF7 really until later. And then like, even then he looks very different. And I remember like playing FF7 and being like, why does he look different? And like never like really getting an answer kind of thing. And just assuming like, oh, okay, like maybe he looks like that later in the game or something.
Yeah, they gave him this look here, and then in KH2 he has his Advent Children design. So it's I think Nomura really wanted Vincent, and he got vetoed, is I think what happened. They were like, no one knows who this fucking optional character from FF7 is. Put Cloud in it. You know?
Said okay, but fine, but he's gonna look like Vincent then.
Yeah. So you defeat Cloud, and he gets absolutely stomped by Cerberus. Um, and you forgot Hades' one rule: accidents happen. And so, you run out so Hercules can save the day, but then you run back in, and Hercules runs out with Cloud. And
With
we
Cloud's
find out later
lifeless
that
body.
we found out later that Hercules loosened Cerberus up for you, is what he tells Phil.
Put him 1 HP.
Pretty iconic fight. Again, another fight where you don't, Cerberus gives you opportunities to hit him, but like it's a lot of times it's tough sledding because it's a lot of times the heads are way too high in the air. But it's still, I think it's a much better fight than Trickmaster, but not as good as Clayton. If I'm rating the fights from this episode, Clayton's number one.
No, yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. There's a lot of like whiffing that can happen, and then he like walks around, and although I will say like the expanded arena, like where it's like, oh yeah, you're fighting in the small the small square, and then it's like, oh, now you're fighting in the entire arena. I always thought that was a really cool change. Where it's like,
This is unsanctioned.
that's how you know shit's going down.
Yeah.
One funny thing that's different about the VA for Phil is he calls Sora Bozu, which I was like, is this just like he's calling him a bozo or something, and they're like using a English word in Japanese. So I looked into it, but basically bozu is normally used for talking to somebody who is like a young boy who's like training to be a monk. And so essentially it's like the reason that he's calling him that is that it basically shows like it's like calling him kiddo, but with the subtext of like, but you have the potential to be something kind of thing. Like you could be a hero. You're a potential hero. It's almost like saying like, yeah, you're my protege kind of thing. So I thought that was cool. Like he's more mask off, I guess. He is rude and like does like talk shit to Sora in Japanese still, but I feel like he comes off a little bit nicer in Japanese, and the fact that he calls you this nickname that's like kind of endearing, I thought was cool. A little different.
You beat Cerberus and they dub you junior heroes, and you're not done here because you have to, once you get Yellow Trinity, you're able to move that block and unlock the keyhole. But you have a conversation with Cloud outside, and it's really funny. At the end of like, he's like, don't lose sight of your light, and he gives you Sonic Blade. And then Sora goes, how about a rematch sometime? Fair and square, no dark powers involved. And Cloud kind of stops and turns and looks at him and flips his hair, and he goes, I think I'll pass. And then Sora just has this goofy, it's like the lip flappy lips, but the smile is just so fucking goofy and doesn't say anything. And then it's just like, okay, cutscene over. it's like, hey, how about we do this together sometime? I think I'll pass. Smile. Like, it's just so like, it's so like, please fight me again. It's just really funny.
That's funny. I actually forgot to do that part. I just beat Cloud and then Cerberus, and then was like, okay, yeah, I'm done. I didn't push the thing.
Oh, so you didn't get well, no, you don't push the thing, you just leave. Because you can't push the thing yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't leave the room then. I just saved.
Yeah, and then we also get a cutscene from Hades where he crashes out. And then...
I forgot. I was going to ask. In English, I don't remember it being this way, but is Hades' voice like really like quiet in the mix compared to other stuff? In Japanese, for whatever reason, I can barely hear the fucking guy, dude. I don't know why. Like, obviously, he's talking low and like he's trying to be mysterious kind of thing, right? But like, it's just way too quiet in the mix for some reason in Japanese. I'm like, bro, what are you saying, bro? I'm like having to like read, and I don't want to read.
At the end of his crash out, Maleficent shows up and he's like, hey, who invited you to the party? This is my show. And she's like, as you wish, fight to your heart's content. And for some reason, this really pisses him off. So there's like infighting between the villains. And that's where we leave off. That's where we asked you guys to get to. The next stop is Traverse Town. So I think we do Traverse Town, unlock the keyhole. I think we do Agrabah, and I think we do Monstro.
Sounds good.
And that will be the 25th of February is when you guys will have to play to that. Okay? Because we're still keeping the bi-weekly deal. I think the cadence is going well. So we're going to keep doing it that way. But anyway, is there anything else you want to say about these 3 worlds we did, Jay? Any other notes before we move on to the question of the week?
I'll say it's kind of funny that, like, when you look at, like, the difficulty, like, you know how the worlds have the different stars? It's funny that Wonderland is 1 star, and then Olympus Coliseum is 2 star, and then Deep Jungle is 3 star. Which it's like, as far as difficulty, I feel like as a kid, I had more difficulty with Cloud and Cerberus than I did with Clayton.
I don't know. If I'm thinking about it when the game's its hardest on Proud, I think fighting Clayton and the Stealth Sneak without Cure is real rough.
Yeah.
On Proud. I didn't have a problem this time.
Like, if I played it on Proud and I did obviously Wonderland first and then looped back around to Olympus Coliseum, I think beating Cloud and Cerberus back to back without Cure is like hard.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I always thought that was funny. And then also the fact that it's like, you know, you have these 2 worlds that are like very confusing your first time in, and like where you go next is like, because you're going to the same places that you already were, just like from a different angle or whatever, right? Like, it's very confusing where you need to go, and you have to like talk to like NPCs to like make sure you know what you're doing and shit. Then the next world is just 2 rooms. Like, that's like the whole.
Yeah.
That's like the whole world is like, they're like, okay, here's a little break for you. But it does still have the thing that, like, I feel like doesn't happen a lot in games anymore, where like they don't tell you where to go, so you're like, okay, I guess I leave, and then the next thing triggers, right? Like, they don't tell you the next thing to do at all. You just like have to wander into it. Basically, you have to like, okay, well, I guess I
guess I'll leave. Yeah.
yeah.
Thinking about it, and we'll talk about this more when we get into it. I don't think there's a Kingdom Hearts 1 world that's not confusing besides Olympus. Maybe
Agrabah,
Halloween Town.
Confusing. Monstro, very confusing on purpose.
Atlantica, there's the whole thing with the dolphin.
Yep. I would say, like, Halloween Town, like, the town isn't crazy, but, like, once you leave the town, you're, like, trying to get to Oogie's, that can get a little confusing.
Yeah,
I would say Neverland isn't super. I guess that's it.
No, because I've been lost in Hook Ship before. I've absolutely been lost in Hook Ship.
I feel like I normally don't get lost in there.
And the problem with Hook Ship is, like, and we can talk about it when we get to it, but every time you're lost, the fucking shadow version of you shows up and you have to fucking beat his
and
ass.
He's trolling you, yeah.
Right, and he's, yeah. So he's like Sabor on steroids.
I guess,
all right, so let's take a short break, Jason, and when we come back, we'll get to the question of the week, which is about these 3 worlds. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Ansem Report podcast. Jason.
What?
It's time for the question of the week. Oh yeah. Shout out Aphoroxis again for that stinger. We need a stinger for the book club, Aphoroxis, if you're listening. If you're not, somebody else has to step up to the plate and get us a stinger. This week's question of the week: what is your favorite moment from the worlds we're playing in this chapter, and why? Those worlds being Wonderland, Olympus Coliseum, and Deep Jungle. Perk upgrades up first here. While the critical path can be pretty obtuse for first-time players, I love Deep Jungle. It's the first time you get an extra party member, and having Tarzan help you with reoccurring threat of Sabor is awesome and feels cathartic when you beat him for good. Plus, tree surfing.
I am glad that they put that into the game, even though it's like, you know, what it ends up being is not great. the fact that they were like, yeah, this shit is so cool in the movie, we gotta put it in the game. Like, that's a W for sure.
This is gas for sure.
Yeah.
MJ Scottboy says, I like that the only reason Donald didn't bang a gorilla is because Daisy would kill him if he did. True.
Yeah, he definitely seemed like scared of how into it he was.
Right. He was like, I can't. Daisy would kill me. Please don't. Mr. Spanky adds on to that, Donald may be a douche, but he obviously doesn't discriminate species, LOL, but he won't risk Daisy's wrath. So true.
I wouldn't.
Wildcat Diana says, question of the week. Out of the three worlds, my favorite moment is the arrival in Wonderland through the rabbit hole. I think it's a very good introduction to what the Disney worlds are going to be, with the logic of traveling from world to what the logic of traveling from world to world is going to be like. Mind you, I like the beginning of the world. The boss from Wonderland is horrible. The medal of the best boss from these three belongs to Cerberus, hands down, and the inclusion of Cloud and in Hercules is, in my opinion, one of the best ones in the series yet, so that also deserves an honorable mention.
I guess that's something I never thought about, where it's like, you land in a world, and like, you never see, like, you know, where are they parking the gummy ship, bruh?
Yeah.
You never see them leaving the gummy ship. You don't even know how they get out of it.
Even when it crash lands, Sora just kind of falls out of the sky, right?
I never realized that in the ending of KH3, like, obviously, spoilers, but, like, Riku be driving that, right? And then he holds his hand out to Redacted, right? I never realized that that was the first time and only time that we're, like, seeing the gummy ship on the planet, like, on a world, and, like, being driven in a cutscene that's, like, not in outer space.
That whole cutscene is him driving it around, right? Because doesn't it, like, float? There's certain characters, like, sitting on a high ledge.
He lands in the courtyard, bruh. Like,
Well, he lands in the courtyard, but before that, there's certain characters sitting on a ledge, and it kind of, like, peeks up, like, it's like, oh, here's the gummy ship. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like, they're, like, looking at it, yeah. I guess I never thought about that, because it's like, okay, I guess the idea is that, like, they parked the gummy ship, like, in like regular, like, what is it, like Britain or something, maybe, you know, like, where the hell is it? And then they fall down the rabbit hole the second they get out, like, what?
Yeah.
Because they're just falling in slow-mo as you get there, right? It's like,
right. Yeah, I wonder how they'd explain that. I think they'd probably just said, we don't need to explain this, fuck this.
Yeah. Well, even in, like, KH2, right? It's like, when you get to, like, I guess, I don't know, to spoil, but, like, I guess we're not in the book club part anymore. I'll fucking spoil it. When you're in Beast Castle, you walk into the main you're in the castle. Like, it's like them walking in the door. Even though you can be outside in the courtyard, and you can be out on the bridge. So, like, they walked through, like, 2 whole rooms, and then they're like, okay, start recording, bro. Like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain intros where they land and start at certain places where I guess I never thought, like, bro, where is the gummy ship at, bruh?
I think if you asked Nomura this question, he would be like, that is such a silly thing to ask me about.
It's orbiting space right now, dude. They call it down and then it picks them up.
Right. It's gotta be. It's gotta be like Star Trek.
True.
Sean's says, drinking the bottle to become small in Wonderland, you get to explore that room from different perspectives, which is fun.
Yeah, I just thought that was really cool as a kid.
Nice and simple answer from Sean's. Fabio the Destitute, a.k.a. Fabio the Guana, a.k.a. Shane Plunkett, says, Deep Jungle's field theme is a sleeper pick for one of my favorite tracks from the KH1 OST. Nerd alert, it's also one of the first uses of a Neapolitan chord, sometimes called a flat 2 chord, in a KH score. Essentially, it's a major chord that is just 1 half step above the root chord, usually in a minor key. It's an unusual harmonic choice, sounds rather dark or intense, and at the time, not something that a lot of people were using in video game music. You hear it a lot more in KH2's score, especially in Org 13 related themes, but in KH1 it also predominantly appears in Hollow Bastion's themes and the battle theme The Deep End, used for the Ice Titan battle. The reason I bring this all up is because I can't really overstate how much Kingdom Hearts music unlocked my brain in so many ways. But this specific harmonic choice by Shimomura, which first shows up in Deep Jungle, was a huge moment for me and continues to be something that I adore in Kingdom Hearts music to this day.
Nerd alert!
Yeah, dude. This guy's not even the music guy, and he's talking about music.
Right,
It's
dude.
crazy.
Come on, dude.
Crazy.
Leave it to the
Shout
music
out to
guys.
SpikeGhetti, the music guy.
Nah, yeah. It's a S tier, like, field theme.
Curtis says, my favorite part of the first 3 worlds was going down the slide in Deep Jungle. Jumping off at the right time reminded me of when I was shot 5 times in a taxi in 1992, and I had to jump out of the taxi.
What?
Curtis, what? What? Curtis, what? Are you okay?
I mean, I guess they have to be okay, right? But, like, what?
Yeah, I mean, that was 1992, and they're typing on the question a week in 2026. I'm sure they're fine, but
Yeah.
oh boy, why does that remind you?
You had to be there, I guess.
I guess. Captain Bacon says, wait a minute, hold on. Is Captain Bacon supposed to be pronounced Capitan Bacon?
Maybe.
I don't know. Sound off in the comments, Captain Bacon. I have 2 moments that could be considered as my favorite part of this early ring. Child Bacon's really funny. Child Bacon was absolutely floored when I first got to phase 2 of the Clayton fight, because in my head, he blew up the freaking wall with his shotgun. For me now, it's the moment Cloud struts out across the screen in Vincent's cloak billowing with the sick golden claw. That scene just has peak aura. That's true.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy in retrospect. Like,
yeah, they didn't really do shit like this back then. You know what I mean? Like as far as like, oh, here's a Final Fantasy character, or you know what I mean? Like they do it a lot now. They didn't do it back then. Orpheus Joshua says, not a specific moment, but my favorite part of these worlds is the argument Sora has with Donald throughout Deep Jungle. You don't really see any type of party conflict like this after Chain of Memories for good reason. Wouldn't really fit into Onward, I think. But I like seeing characters in the party have disagreements and grow from the experience. Makes their bond feel more natural as opposed to being fully on board from the outset. While I agree with that point, I don't think it's executed well, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I think Donald did not have a reason to have friction. But if they combine our 2 ideas, it's good.
Yeah, it just makes him seem like he's not sympathetic. Because, like, it's not even like he voices, like, I know you really want to find your friends, but we, like, have to find the king. Like, worlds are blinking out. Like, they don't like, mask off with him, even though, like, he's supposed to be this super important Keyblade wielder. Like, not being truthful is, like, what's causing them issues.
Right.
And then they don't even really level with him right away either. Even when they do make up.
Yeah. I get why OJ likes it, though. I just don't personally.
Yeah.
Retired Guardian says, as much as I'd love to pick one of Clayton's incredible line deliveries, I think my favorite moment in the first round of Disney Worlds is the second Sabor fight. The one at the camp. It's so unexpected to fight the same enemy twice, or as it turns out, more. The fact you can repeat it by coming back after exploring is also fun, and unlike any other boss or mini-boss in the series. You said yourself
Yeah, no, it's pretty dope.
That's one of the reasons Sabor scared you so much, right? It's because it would just pop up.
As a kid, yeah. Well, yeah, you can just, like, jump you, and then, like, he's really scary in the movie, and then, like, he's not a pushover compared to the other enemies, right? Like, repeatable fighting enemies. So, like, I remember, like, you just hear, when you hear the battle theme right away, but you can't see, you're like, oh shit, Sabor's here, and you're like, heart rate spikes 30.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Oh shit. My palms are sweaty already.
Energy Scott says, I think I've always had a soft spot for Olympus Coliseum in this game. The soundtrack is amazing and is probably drilled into our heads from the amount of time spent saving the game before entering each cup. Apart from that, I have to praise the moment Cloud walks past you. As an FF7 kid, seeing Cloud look as dark as he does was so exciting. So many questions. Then you get to fight him and it's terrifying. That's our boy. He's meant to be on our side, Sag. Plus, Hades is a savage. SPCat says, so, I don't really care for these worlds normally. Deep Jungle is what I'd call the worst KH world of them all, followed by a certain Kingdom Hearts 2 and that same world in KH 3, but I won't spoil that. Wonderland is fine, and Olympus Coliseum is also just fine. They all just exist to me. With that being said, my favorite part of this set of worlds is probably going to be when Cloud Strife from FF7 shows up. As a kid, I hadn't played FF7, but watched my cousin play it, so I knew he was familiar. But his KH1 outfit, also called Another Form as far as variant names go, always stuck out to me and was always so sick. Also, a fun fact I just discovered as I'm playing through this game, this outfit was meant to be a nod to Vincent Valentine from FF7. Apparently, other FF characters in KH1 get this treatment, but I'm getting off topic. These worlds really don't stick out to me, but I have nostalgia for them because of how many times I played the opening hours of KH1. I'd be interested to know what SP's talking about as far as other characters get that treatment. Because in my head, everybody just kind of...
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Everybody just kind of looks like them. Yuffie's Yuffie, Leon is Squall, Aerith is Aerith, Cid is Cid. The Destiny Islands trio just kind of look like themselves. All right, SP. Let us know. Let us know down in the comments.
Yeah, let us know what you mean.
Yeah, because I'm not picking up what you're laying down. Maybe Seth.
I'm not tapped in, I guess.
Seth Roth. I decided I'm gonna call him Seth Roth, not Seth Roth.
Yeah, Seth.
Good boy, Seth. SB Gal says, my favorite moment from the first three worlds is definitely the beginning of Wonderland. In my opinion, it's the best world of the first three. I love the music. I love the Bazaar Room. Just good vibes all around. Also, 2 words. Fuck Deep Jungle. Damn, hit us with the Phil joke and everything.
Base. That's the most based answer.
Up next is, I'm going to pronounce it NGC. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but they're new to Discord. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My favorite moment is sealing the Deep Jungle keyhole. This might be the only keyhole locking scene in the game where it truly feels like we found the heart of the world. The cavern leading up to it is insane. Good vibes all around. If this were a KH2 world, we'd probably pick up Clayton's shotgun and use it to unlock the lanes between or some shit.
Oh, shit. No, I agree. That cutscene is, like, very memorable. Like, with, like, the butterflies on it and stuff, like...
And it does feel like you've gone, like, deep into the world, right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
I agree.
The lighting of that room is just really cool, too.
Definitely. Chetzil says, it's hard for me to pick best part of the first 3 worlds as I enjoy the rest of the game more. But I like seeing Hades talking smack with Sora and Cloud. A classic cartoon villain talking to anime guys is peak Kingdom Hearts magic. Mr. Spanky says, I think my favorite moment from these worlds is the confrontation between Donald and Sora, kind of setting the tone for their relationship for a bit of this game. See, people liked it. I just didn't like it. Mr. Water KH says, Olympus Coliseum is probably my favorite. Not only do we get this custom Cloud skin, but we also get to play in these gauntlets that keep expanding the more you play the game. Very cool. Water's right.
True.
Based. Coliseum's dope. No Coliseum in KH3 is dog shit. Just want to say.
Absolutely.
Jip says, I don't have a single moment because he doesn't follow directions, but some highlights. I don't particularly enjoy Wonderland, especially as a first world. That being said, the Bazaar Room has one of the coolest rooms in the entire series. Every time I play that game, I find a new way to enter it or something I didn't know you could interact with. Every single line Clayton has, go real us, or what am I doing with these imbeciles? I also adore the Wonderland theme if it isn't one of my top worlds. In addition, Go For It is a banger combat track for Olympus Coliseum, and then he posted an audio file saying this is my updated Clayton impression.
I need to pull it up.
Go Gorillas.
I think you went a little too fancy with it. I'm interested to see what you think.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's like a little too cunty.
It's a little too cunty. Like he went a little too like. That's how like Clayton's like servant sounds. You know what I mean? Not how Clayton sounds. I'll include it in the episode for everybody, and everybody sound off in the comments what you think.
Yeah. Give it a rating out of 10.
Vetus says, I think at some point I actually started to really enjoy the exploration puzzles of Wonderland. It's actually a very small world, but how they implemented the different versions of the Bazaar Room make it seem much bigger. When my older sister first got the game when we were kids, she ended up getting stuck there. One day I stayed home sick from school and was determined to beat the world, and I eventually found my way around it and beat it. After that, she basically handed the game over to me, LOL. Also, shout out to the old Trickmaster colors. They did them dirty in Final Mix, one of the reasons I'm playing with the OG Heartless colors.
Hell yeah. No, that's so true. I really like how he looks in the OG. Whereas, like with guard armor, like, yeah, he's just like the same colors scheme as like a soldier or something. Like, I'm not like a super huge fan of it. I don't dislike it. I liked how Trickmaster looked.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think it's one of the better ones, but I'd rather that I just prefer that they'd keep it how it was.
Yeah, it's so
Although
weird.
the best one is definitely the Guy Fieri Behemoth, which we'll get to.
Yeah, Guy Fieri. Spoilers.
All right, Jay, do you have an answer to this question of the week?
I mean, mine is like basically the same as Waters, low key, dude. Like, I love Phil. Phil's energy is always amazing. He's a troll. I like that he's always razzing the boys, and you get some of the coolest fights, like being able to fight Cloud, being able to fight Cerberus. The later non regular Heartless fights that you get in the later tournaments and stuff. It's just banging.
Yeah.
It's got to be my favorite.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, I'm not like wandering around like, where the hell do I go?
Yeah.
Like in the other two worlds.
I'm actually going to pick a story beat. And I'm normally kind of critical of Wonderland. And, you know, I love Deep Jungle and I love the Olympus Coliseum, but I'm going to go a little different mode here. I like that they don't leave you with this because you end up going and feeding the boss and like the keyhole. But I like the kind of twist that Alice gets kidnapped. Because I think this game, it's the first world you do typically, and I think you would expect like, oh, we're gonna resolve all this, right? But it's not. You know, even though there's not really anything to do in that world, I like how it builds into the overarching story of it very quickly.
It definitely connects
Right.
so well.
And I think that's cool. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Alice being a princess of heart, I think that's kind of, she's not a princess. She's just some girl that took some drugs. You know what I mean? But like, I do like the idea of them like being like, oh, you can't resolve this. Sorry. And they do a similar thing with Olympus, but it's not as effective because like, I think if you would just leave that world if you don't know, going, oh, there's not a keyhole here, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not a hero yet or whatever, and there's like different, like there's gonna be more like tournaments and stuff, but like you would just leave that world going.
Yeah, you can like interact with the standings stuff.
Right,
yeah.
right. So, but I like, that's probably my favorite part of these first three worlds. So, all right, that's it for this week's question of the week and this week's episode of the Ansem Report podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Remember, our next set of gameplay, you have to go through Traverse Town 2, Agrabah, and Monstro by February 25th is when we're going to record the next one. So, and
Agrabah.
And I mean, Jay, for the question of the week, I liked this question for these worlds. Do we want to run that back for the next three? Or do we want to do something different?
I feel like, yeah, we run it back, because I don't, because like after that would be Atlantica. Well, I get, like, we're doing Atlantica, right?
Yeah. We most certainly are.
Atlantica, Halloween Town, Neverland. So we could have it for this week and next week, but then after that, it's kind of like, okay, those are all the.
That's when we get more into the
worlds.
deeper stuff, I think.
Right.
So, That's what we'll do. The question of the week is, what is your favorite part of these next 3 worlds? Traverse Town 2. You could include something from Traverse Town 1 if you want, because we didn't do the question for that one. Agrabah and Monstro. And so please, thank you for everybody who's been involved in the book club and everybody who's joined the Discord and stuff where they weren't there before or come back to the Discord.
Yes.
It's been really cool and encouraging to see. And we got some fun stuff planned for this. It's not, we got some ideas about what we want to do in the future too, as far as maybe some recap episodes or talking deeper about, end game content, things like that. So, and we're just going to go through all the games. So, thank you everybody for listening and watching and interacting. We appreciate it. If you like this podcast, you can leave us a nice review on Apple or Spotify. That helps. You can share it with your friends. Maybe your friend's playing Kingdom Hearts for the first time. Share them the last episode and get them caught up here. Or you can join the Discord or send us an email at ansomreportpodcast@gmail.com. We love getting emails as well. So, that's about it. Jason, hit him with it.
I don't know why you saying it like that. Just like
It was very Obama.
it was like, yeah,
I didn't mean
that's
to.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Jason,
Like, was it how your voice?
it was the cadence.
Specifically the
It
cadence.
was the cadence. It was very presidential cadence, but it wasn't. It wasn't. Jason, hit him with it. Michelle, can you believe?
May your heart be your guiding key.
Michelle, can you believe that their favorite part is Olympus Coliseum? Ridiculous. Thank you.
Now, fuck off.
Oh, Michelle, he did the thing where he told him to fuck off. I love that. It's my favorite.
That's my favorite part. I thought he wasn't going to do that in the first episode. It was like a really
It's a
long
really-
pause that time.
It was really long, but he did it anyway. And this time he brought it back to how I remember it. I'm a big fan of nostalgia. One of my favorite things. I couldn't possibly tell people to fuck off as the former president of the United States. That would be very unpresidential of me. But I'm glad I can live vicariously through Jason doing it.